What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about Bitcoin Cash. Shout out to the Dragon Riders in the House of the Dragon. Hit that like button, you guys. Subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and let's get into it. The purpose of this video is to compare Bitcoin Cash to the average altcoin. I'd like to compare it to the average altcoin, see if it's looking to outperform the average altcoin on this next move in tandem with them, or even underperform the average coin. We're going to figure that out, and then also give some short-term price predictions. So if that sounds good to you, hit the like button, subscribe. Let's get into it. Looking at the price right now, we're at about $431. I do suspect that yesterday's price action, not just for Bitcoin Cash, but probably for a lot of cryptos, brought in the next low, the next kind of higher low that's going to set us up for this next run that we're going to have here. I very much do believe Bitcoin Cash is in the midst, though it might not feel like it here at these lows, it's in the midst of a move that will take us above $1,000, likely above $1,300 by the end of February. If not even by the end of January. Here we are at 430 now. So definitely expecting a decent amount of growth in a very short amount of time with this thing. If we look at it on a weekly basis, we take the overall high here to the overall low. The next target area is just based off of this fib, which I do think we will get above, is $936 to $1,300. Being that when we break out of this fib, we will also simultaneously be breaking out of this long phase of consolidation, right? Where from this high here, if I can just draw it, if it would let me, there we go, high, all the way down here, this long phase of consolidation that Bitcoin Cash has been in its whole life. Whenever we break above this high, we're going to be breaking out of this. I suspect we won't break out of this long-term consolidation phase just to hit the minimum target. So I think something above $1,000 is completely to be expected. $1,300 is a very doable target, and anything beyond that is also, I think, to be expected in time as well. I don't suspect that we will break out of this, hit 936, and then that's it, that's over, right? I don't think that we spent multiple cycles forming this consolidation phase just to break it here and then stop as soon as the party gets started. So I very much do suspect that we will have a nice run here in a very short amount of time. $1,000 really should be the true minimum target to be considered. $1,300 is another doable target, and then I think $1,700 to $1,900 is at the maximum end of that target of this move, which I suspect will end probably sometime at the end of February, if not maybe sometime at the end of March. But you know, going into April, May too, I expect we'll have another relative high. But this relative move that we're going to have now between now and the end of February, I think we will be at about $1,100 to $1,300. Okay, we're at 431. Let's talk about Bitcoin Cash versus others. BCH, and actually, hold on, I want to look at the 4-hour time frame real quick, just because it changes. Got higher lows, yeah, but rejecting the oversold zone too. Yeah, I think you look fine, man. You got some bullish divergence, just a little bit, but I think you look fine. You have 431. You might go a little bit down from here. You could close prices like below 430, but I don't think you go below that low. Anyways, we're going to do others versus BCH. If this chart looks bearish, that would mean then that Bitcoin Cash is gaining value versus the average altcoin. If it's bullish, that would mean Bitcoin Cash is losing value versus the average altcoin. And if it's neutral, that would mean Bitcoin Cash is performing equal to the average altcoin, right? So that's what this means. So on a weekly basis here, Bitcoin Cash was kind of moving sideways, right? I think I said Bitcoin. I meant to say Bitcoin Cash that whole time, but I'm sure the Dragon Riders don't mind that, right? Moving sideways this whole time. And then eventually, once we got to November, Bitcoin Cash started to lag compared to the average altcoin in the markets, right? And that's no mistake. That's no, I was about to say mistake. That's no secret. Right, if we look at BCH, we go on Coinbase here. You go on the monthly time frame. I don't know why all those things are there. What are those things? What was that? 1,400% up. Okay, we're gonna move up 1,400%. I don't know. Probably from one of my last analyses. What was I gonna do here? Oh yeah, I was gonna talk about how November Bitcoin Cash moved up 46.7%, and then others, the average altcoin during November, moved up 71%. So it was that month that we saw Bitcoin Cash kind of lag and fall behind some altcoins. But on the bright side, it does seem as though we are at the kind of top end of this trend, right, coming down here. It seems as though we're at a point where not only we would likely bounce down from, but likely like significantly bounce down from. Anytime that we've been at this area, right, it resulted in nothing less than significant movements, right? So I suspect we'd get some kind of significant movement that would take us well below any of these targets. Again, others versus Bitcoin Cash, this thing going lower is a good thing. We want it to go lower, right? That's a good thing. Overbought now on a weekly basis. 3-day time frame here, also showing some bearish divergence there. Overbought as well. Daily time frame, bullish, but not bullish enough. You know, the fact that you're bouncing off the 50 is nice. Oh, gotta get this here. The fact you're bouncing off the 50 is nice, but lower highs, higher lows. It kind of looks like you have this symmetrical triangle look almost, and that you've broken out to the downside, right? Lower highs there, higher lows, and it's like you're breaking out to the downside now. I don't know why my computer's like glitching around like that. It's like my cursor moves smoothly, but the internet is slow on the browser or something. I don't know. It's like the internet isn't slow itself though. I don't know, man. Anyways, just looking at this here, I would assume that it is going to move lower. I don't think that you move up too much higher, which would directly imply that Bitcoin Cash does outperform the majority of the market going forward. If we look at this, let's just see. I mean, I suspect, man, you're probably going to pull back. What would that be? This isn't going to help us project how much Bitcoin Cash is going to grow because it's a negative instead of a positive, but to give some idea. I would suspect that you do go below all these lows. So Bitcoin Cash, that says that others is going to lose 33% versus Bitcoin Cash. I don't know what that means, man. Like, you know, that it's not the same as like Bitcoin Cash growing 33% technically, right? Because you can lose 33%. If you're at $100, losing 33 is $33, gaining 33 is $33, but I feel like it's not always like that. I don't know how to explain it. Negatives are just different, man. They're stronger. Positives are not. I don't know how to explain it. Anybody who understands math can try to explain it, but I'm going to stop trying to explain it and just move on. Okay, so looks like we're going to move down. Likely we see a pretty significant drop. You know, maybe what we could do is we could actually, for once, we could do BCH versus others. And just get the percentage up that I would be expecting, right? And just show you what I'm talking about. Because now it's the same chart, it's just flipped. It's flipped, right? And that would result, you see, to get above these same highs, it's not 33% of a drop, it's a 50% pump now, actually, right? And it's not these highs, because to get above these highs, well, that's about a 30. It's a 37% pump, which is still above 33%, right? But definitely something that's going to be great versus the average altcoin is what I would expect for Bitcoin Cash. This is essentially saying, and again, it's kind of a rough drawing. I don't think it's going to gain specifically 53%. But if we're looking at this here, I do assume that we're going to bounce. We probably do see some kind of significant bounce if it was to be in this kind of succession of lower highs here. Maybe something like this. Bitcoin Cash would gain 50% more than the average altcoin. I suspect the average altcoin gains anywhere from like 100 to 150%. So Bitcoin Cash might do a 3x or more. It's kind of my expectation. Looking at this chart, if we were to go, I mean, from here, man, we would either go all the way up to the 382, which is at least 44% growth, or we might go all the way up to the 618, which would be a lot more. So it's hard to say. But if Bitcoin Cash were to gain 80% versus the average altcoin, that might imply that it sees like a 3.5x over this next month and a half. And if it sees a 3.5x from its current price, well, that would be about $1,500. So I don't know, man. Good things all around, though. Good things all around. I definitely like that this chart looks bullish, nonetheless, right? Regardless of how high the speculative number or where we might go, you know, wherever that is, I do expect that by the end of this month or by the end of this move, we will be higher, gaining value versus others. I got nothing else to say, man. I'm running out of steam, so I'm going to end the video there. If you like the video, hit the like button, subscribe if you want to see more content like this. Thank you all for being here. I'll see you on the next one. Take care.